Everybody, I'm Alex Frank of the Locked On Bearcats podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into what you read as an important announcement, but this is nothing bad. This is all a really good what I'm about to tell you. So I just want to tell you, I am so excited to rev the engines for football season. We are in season mode starting tomorrow, Monday. Monday's episode, of course, will be posted tonight on YouTube, on our Locked On Bearcats YouTube channel at 8 o'clock tonight. Up to 430 subscribers. That's where we are at on the Locked On Bearcats YouTube channel. Today, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you who has supported the podcast, who has subscribed to the podcast in the first 8 months of my time here on the Locked On Podcast Network. You all have made this time so valuable, so enjoyable, and I cannot wait to continue to share that all with you throughout my first season covering the Bearcats for the Locked On Podcast Network, and once we get to men's basketball and the Big 12. But this is about football season, and before I get anywhere else, I want to thank also today Zach Blackerby, our college channel manager on the Locked On Podcast Network, and of course our fearless leader, David Locke, our president of the Locked On and founder of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you to them for giving me the opportunity to parlay my experiences from Bearcats Media when I was sports director of UC's student-run media organization and bringing all of those here to the Locked On Bearcats podcast. I could not be more thankful, and I am excited, beyond excited, to get football season going, get it underway. So, and I want to tell you all this, and I'm going to make this clear. This is a podcast for you. This is your daily Cincinnati Bearcats podcast, the only one that's out there. This is for you. So if there's anything that you want me to talk about, if there's anything you want discussed on this podcast, do not be afraid at all to reach out to me on Twitter. You can DM me at Frankie_Natty. You can also tweet at me at Frankie_Natty. You can also message me on Instagram, AlexFrank9_, or email me at alex3frank@gmail.com. Leave a comment on our YouTube episodes. You can also subscribe and give it a rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Do not be afraid at all to reach out. Lastly, I want to thank, as far as thank yous, I want to thank all of our sponsors. All of our sponsors here on the Locked On Podcast Network, local sponsors, national sponsors. Thank you to all of you. You help make this a really enjoyable experience for the first 8 months. Now, as far as what you can expect during football season, and this is what's so great about football season, because now we've made it through the true grind of the college football offseason, the college men's basketball offseason, that's still going, but we mainly talk about football on the show because we are the hottest college football program in America right now, the Cincinnati Bearcats. So, what you can expect during football season. Every day of every week, the shows write themselves. So, I'll start with Tuesday. I'll get to Monday in a minute because that has to do with the games. So on Tuesdays, this is something I took an idea from WLWT news anchor Mike Dardis, former colleague of mine. I was once a sports intern there. And Mike told me one time that a football game can be decided in 3 to 4 plays. So I said, okay, I'm going to look at the 3 to 4 biggest plays of every game and call it Turning Point Tuesday. The 3 to 4 biggest plays of the previous game, and I will elaborate on all of them in a 30-minute show. And that could be about the play itself, the player who made the play, more about him, the coaching decision, the decisions that went into it, the factors that went into the decision, whatever I can expand upon the turning point of the game. The crowd maybe had something to do with it. Maybe you had something to do with it. So maybe that. Turning Point Tuesday. That is going to be every Tuesday. Then on Wednesdays, this is still in the process, but I'm hoping to have on a former colleague of mine when I covered the Bearcats for Bearcats Media for 3 years. I learned a lot from this man as far as writing goes, how to ask questions, and just how to be relentless in your pursuit as a reporter. That is Justin Williams of The Athletic. We're going to call it Williams Wednesdays. Basically, he's going to give his insights, his analysis, his takes, and bring all of that here to the Locked On Bearcats podcast. One of the most knowledgeable writers, one of the smartest writers, and one of the most versatile writers I have ever been around. You will love listening to his insight and everything you need to know, inside information on the Cincinnati Bearcats right here on the Locked On Bearcats podcast every Wednesday. Then on Thursdays, This is going to be really exciting once the Bearcats join the Big 12 next year. But for this year, it's called Crossover Thursdays. So every Thursday, when we can, we're going to talk to the Locked On host of the opponent Cincinnati is playing. So for week 1, that's John Neighbors, good friend of mine, the host of Locked On Razorbacks. Unfortunately, playing in the American Athletic Conference, we don't have a lot of American Athletic Conference hosts on Locked On. We do have a Locked On host for the Houston Cougars. We'll have him on if the two teams, the Bearcats and Houston, meet again in the conference championship. But for week 1, we'll have John Neighbors. And then for the other weeks, we'll have what's called a look ahead, the film that I've watched, the takeaways that I have, and look ahead to that game. Friday's the game preview. That's the easy show. Friday's my game preview. My thoughts on the game, keys to the game, where I think this game will be decided, the matchup that will decide this game, and of course, my score prediction. Now, I said Monday has to do with the games themselves. So I was thinking about this yesterday, and this was something that was touched on in our water cooler, channel-wide, college channel-wide water cooler meeting last Thursday. A lot of hosts will post shows Sunday morning. So I said, okay, I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. So here's how it's going to work for the games themselves. It's all based on what time the games are on Saturday, mainly Saturdays. Now there could be a Friday. There is a Friday game, November 11th. That's the day before my birthday. November 11th, and there could be another Friday game on Black Friday. So not sure yet, but for Saturday games, if the game is at noon or 3:30, what you can expect. If it's a noon game, the recap of the show, my reactions to the game, it will be up by 6. If it's a 3:30 game, the reactions will be up by 10 that Saturday night. If it's a night game, that'll be posted by 8 o'clock Sunday morning. In addition, for all afternoon games, so noon and 3:30 games, you can expect a film review and more detailed recap of the game. That'll be posted on Sunday. That will be posted on Sunday at noon. Of course, if it's a night game, the film review and more detailed recap, that'll be posted at normal time Sunday at 8. Monday's episodes on YouTube are always posted Sunday at 8. By the way, as far as audio is concerned, for the reactions to the game, that'll be posted at the same time as YouTube, so 6 or 10 p.m. Saturday night. Film review and detailed recap of the game. If it's noon, I will schedule it for noon, but if it's Sunday night at 8, I'll schedule it for 3 a.m. in audio form. So either way, you will get both. So that's going to be a lot, but I'm excited to hit the ground running. And occasionally throughout the season, Russ Heltman, my colleague at All Bearcats, he'll be filling in for me. Not a whole lot of episodes, but there will be some throughout the season, which he does fill in for me, so you can enjoy his insights, his analysis, and the same enthusiasm that he brings to this podcast as I do. But Russ Heltman will be filling in for me on occasion throughout the season. Not a whole lot, but there will be some episodes where he does throughout the season. So, again, very much looking forward to this. Very much looking forward to interacting with you. Very much looking forward to taking this ride with you, this journey with you through the season. And finally, this is a Daily Bearcats podcast, but as you know, as many of you know, if you follow me on Twitter, you follow me on Instagram, you know that I am not just a Cincinnati Bearcats football fan. I am a huge Cincinnati Bengals fan as well. It's a 3-generation thing in my family to be a Cincinnati Bengals fan. Family's had season tickets since 1968. We devote 17 Sundays a year and plus 3 to 4 more in the postseason to the Cincinnati Bengals. It is a commitment that I have had no second doubts or reservations of giving. So, therefore, this is something new I'm going to try. See how it goes. Maybe it won't work out. Maybe it will. Hopefully it will. Every Friday at 3, I'll post a bonus content episode for Friday previewing the upcoming Bengals game. So, hope you enjoyed that. And I just want to tell you before I close, buckle up, strap in. Let's go down the drive. This is going to be a fun ride. And one last dance in the American Athletic Conference, my first tango during football season here at the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you again to everyone who has subscribed and supported the podcast. Thank you to the management team of Locked On. It's time to rev the engines. It is time to rev the engines for what should be an exciting football season. The Bearcats going for a 3rd straight conference championship. We are in season mode starting on tomorrow's episode, which will be posted tonight at 8 o'clock on YouTube, 3 a.m. tomorrow morning on audio. Previewing the season. It's the season preview 5-way series this week. Tonight, we're going to touch on, or tomorrow rather, we're going to touch on the Bearcats offense. Can they be as good as they were last year? And are they as good as last year? And can they be as prolific as they were last year? So again, buckle up, strap in. Let's go down the drive. And looking forward to being with you throughout the entire football season. For the Locked On Bearcats podcast, I'm Alex Frank. Thank you for listening to this important announcement, and I will be back with you tomorrow previewing the offense for the Cincinnati Bearcats 2022 football season.